Okay, the economic news obviously is incredibly important, fast moving. We'll be breaking that down today. I'm going to get more into eugenics, a lot of news in the mainstream media about that as they push their agenda as counties, cities, states inside the U.S. announce carbon taxes, carbon regulators, home inspections, all the hell that the Club of Rome, UN, and CFR have promised to bring in. They're doing. Mainstream news is now announcing all over the place with newscasts that, we're spraying the atmosphere to save you from the sun's rays and global warming. They're now just admitting chemtrailing is real because we've exposed it, those of you out there. And by the way, we're very close to getting Anne Heche on the show. They are listeners of the show. They do have this new movie that's premiered in Australia about chemtrails. And we're going to get the director and her on here in the next few weeks. But they want to, in the next month or so, when that coincides with the release here in the United States of Toxic Skies. So that is coming up as well. It's just crazy. But I want to cover this first. I have had the Secret Service here twice and then calls from the Secret Service another time. We've dealt with the FBI twice. And when an FBI agent delivers you into your hands a federal subpoena and points out that you're not allowed to talk about it in the subpoena, that is the contents of the subpoena. I called my lawyers up and they said, well, you can talk about how you were subpoenaed and you don't know why you were subpoenaed, but you can't talk about what's in it unless you want to challenge a federal contempt of court. And then Alex goes bye-bye for several years in prison. Can you imagine what it's like to have the FBI and Secret Service at your office? Can you imagine what it's like to have them there? And then they won't tell you why they're there, just that you've got to give them this material. But the subpoena was proper. It was very specific. And I go on air and I tell people, I say, the FBI's been here. The Secret Service has been here. And all these YouTube videos get made, all these phone calls, all these mean emails. Oh, you liar, publicity stunt, you piece of filth. You know, big stunt. This was happening 4 days before I was about to release the Obama deception. And the FBI agent, one of them, was asking my employees, so tell me about the Obama deception. Tell me about Alex's companies. Tell me about his servers, where they are. And I'm going, well, what is this about? Well, as you read the subpoena, I go, yeah, your subpoena is only asking for these IP addresses. You're not allowed to be asking these questions, so we're not going to answer. And so I said, this may be with dealing with the Obama deception because they're asking about it. See, I live in the real world, folks, where I deal with the FBI. I deal in the real world where I deal with Secret Service coming to my office. We've even got them on surveillance camera here at the office to protect ourselves, but I'm not going to sit there and start fights and punch them in the nose and put that video out. This is the type of stuff I deal with. And then these little children who aren't in the real world sit there and say, I'm lying. Alex Jones never lies. Alex Jones takes action, takes on the New World Order. And that's why so many people are jealous and so many people attack us, and a lot of it's paid for. We are under such COINTELPRO attack because, ladies and gentlemen, we're an example of taking action. We're an example of taking on the globalists. We're an example of alerting the people and setting bushfires in the minds of men and women everywhere. We're an example of leadership. Doesn't mean we're perfect, but we're doing the best we can with the tools God gave us and praying every day that God lead, guide, and direct us. But I deal with this stuff, and now that we've posted this article up on Infowars.com dealing with an individual being arrested for comments they made on the Infowars.com message board, that's what I guessed it was about. I went on there and I said, I think this is about comments on the site, but the FBI won't tell me. And I told the listeners, I said, listen, don't go on Infowars.com and post a cop's name and home address and say, go kill his family. That's in the wrong, and you should get in trouble. And I got in a big argument with the FBI on a separate issue. I didn't know it was connected, and it still may be something else. They won't ever tell you. The FBI calls up and says, we noticed you took down those, in a separate incident, we noticed you took down those comments. And I go, yeah, we didn't used to have moderators, but we have to when they post cops' houses and their names and say, kill them. And the FBI agent's like, leave it up. That's evidence. He said, you're going to be getting a subpoena soon. And I said, I'm not leaving a cop's home address and name and people saying go kill his family. Regardless of the fact that he killed that poor black guy in cold blood, I'm not going to be part of that. And and then the agent calls back and goes, yeah, actually, that's the right thing to do. Take it down. So then I start thinking, are they trying to set me up? Telling me to leave up? Because, see, we'd already taken this down before we ever got called by the FBI. And I don't have the money, folks. I don't have moderators. I don't have the money. So I got people part-time trying to go, when they're saying kill cops, kill the president, kill. I remember years ago, before I got rid of another message board I had, Secret Service calls up. They say, are you working with this person in Tennessee that says kill the president? This was Bush. And I said, I'm not aware of this comment. And I went and looked at it and I called them back and I said, no. They said, well, we're just making sure. And then a month later, it was in the newspaper. The Secret Service in Tennessee raided the guy. Turned out he'd been a mental patient who'd gotten back out, and he admitted what he'd done, and they took him away. I mean, listen, this is real, folks. There's always these comments about, Alex, you need to call for violence. You need to call for a shooting war. Anybody who calls for a shooting war and doesn't get arrested is a Fed. And you know who I'm talking about. And it did come out that Hal Turner was a Fed. Even the Southern Poverty Law Center had to admit that. They're the folks that ran the Elohim City white supremacist compound connected to the bombing of Oklahoma City. Timothy McVeigh, Andreas Strassmeyer, that came out in FBI documents. That's been in major newspapers. Very sinister group. And that guy would say, kill this judge, kill that person. And I said, for years, I said, that guy's a Fed. Then his emails came out. Then it was admitted that he was there trying to get crazies to come out so they could put him in prison. It's the same thing with all these African American groups in Miami and in New York and New Jersey and in Indiana and in Pennsylvania. It's always the same. They go out and find teenagers or people at a bar. They're normally on welfare, mentally ill, drug addicts. They never seem to be Muslim. They're always like Rastafarian, black liberation. And the FBI will create with an informant a group, and they will then command them and say, I'll give you $100,000 to wear camo and go videotape the federal building. And then the feds bust them and say they were planning to wage war on America. And that's even come out in mainstream news now that is all staged and completely fake. I mean, this is real, ladies and gentlemen. I have been physically attacked. I get death threatened constantly. I have people trying to set me up constantly. And I do it with good cheer because I know this is an important mission I'm on, but my life is in danger. My name is in danger. My family is in danger, and I need your support. And I need people to recognize the history and the track record we've got. The fruit this tree has bore. This tree's branches are on the ground. It's got so much fruit. The limbs are breaking off. It's got so much fruit. I need you to pick the fruit off the tree and to spread it and use it. The fruit is growing on this tree so fast that the tree is in danger of falling over. That happens to a lot of really healthy, incredible trees that have great genetics and great water and great sunshine, great soil. I mean, we are the biggest attack vessel against the New World Order in the info war. We are the very, very tip of the spear. The front molecule on the carbide steel spear. The very absolute tip of it is this radio show and Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. And does that mean we do a perfect job? Does that mean we have all the answers? No. We're just doing the best we can, ladies and gentlemen, fighting as hard as we can. And I don't like having to come up here and do infomercials sometimes, but I got to pay for the bandwidth somehow. I got to pay for the employees somehow. I got to pay for this radio show and everything I do somehow. And I need your support. I need your financial support. If we got more support, I wouldn't have to spend half my time just trying to raise the money to fight the New World Order. I could spend all my time in really taking action and really putting out more films and getting more done. But I'm also busy swatting off the stalkers and the psychos and the crazies. I had an event last night, just that I'm not even going to talk about, people showing up at my house. I mean, this is the real deal, ladies and gentlemen. And those that have discernment know it. That's why we're exploding. Those that are blinded by the world, they know the New World Order is lying to them, but they don't have enough discernment to know the real deal when it's right in front of them. Now, Asheville man charged in alleged Liberty Dollar fraud scheme. I'm going to get into that. I've got my other story here. Roanoke man charged with making online threats. Jeffrey L. Weaver is accused of posting threatening comments against 2 police officers on Infowars.com. This is the Roanoke Times out of Roanoke, Virginia.